Hey everybody, this is Dan for GemmyD on Cars. Now I'm here at Sun Motors Pre-Owned on Woods Drive in Mechanicsburg, PA, and we're taking a look at a car that is pretty close to my wife's car. This is a 2018 Porsche Macan. This is the same chassis, same engine. This has the 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder, 252 horsepower, 273 foot-pounds of torque. It's essentially an Audi Q5 with a nicer shell around it, being that of a Porsche. Now this car, the Macan, came out in 2014. This is a 2018, and it shares lots of things with the Audi. And I've been getting all these emails from Sun Motors Audi saying, hey, would you like to trade in your Audi Q5? So I thought, what might be the next logical step? And I thought, a Macan. So I looked around, and this Macan is for sale for about $38,000. So we're gonna go over this, all the specs and everything, talk about how this is similar to my wife's car, and we're gonna consider, maybe should I sell my wife's car to get a Macan? Let's find out today. All right, let's look at the Macan. Now, when I looked at videos about the Macan, I think Car and Driver said that this is essentially the best driving small SUV. Now, there's a lot of different variations of the Macan. This is the, they actually call it the base Macan, but there's a Macan S, there's a Macan Turbo as they go up in horsepower, and there's a V6 with twin turbo, and there's actually a Macan GTS, which is like 434 horsepower. I mean, that is insane. I mean, this car has 252, and it still will go pretty decently. So everything I've read said this is the best driving small SUV, and that is something that I value. I really love the Audi for the looks and what it brought to the table. Plus, I just love driving it. And obviously, this being a Porsche, you know, they know a thing or two about how to make a car that knows how to drive. I was just talking to the salesman. I said my thoughts on cars changed when I drove that 911 earlier this year, and I still hold true to that. That is the greatest driver's car that I've ever driven myself, so I was lucky enough to do that. But yeah, the Macan has a pretty decent reputation. I've talked to a couple other people that own these, and they say it is amazing. They consider it an SQ5, but this just drove so much better. So all right, let's talk about the styling. All right, now this is the Macan. This is the, I guess you could say, compact SUV from Porsche. They do have the Cayenne. I'm positive that these two are the best sellers of Porsche. You know, we always talk about all these car companies that are making SUVs now, like Lamborghini did it, and now, you know, Ferrari's going to do it. But it is sort of paving the way to make lots of money so they can continue developing and creating like kick-ass like supercars. But this is no exception. I'm sure the sales of the Macan helped pave the way for the GT3s and the 992 911s. But yeah, this essentially looks like an SUV version of a 911. This does have the 4 little LEDs in the front, but yeah, the grille looks like a 911. You've got that iconic Porsche badge, and they're made in Stuttgart, Germany, right there. But yeah, this is never a bad thing when you say something looks like a 911. And this, as far as the size goes, it is obviously the same size pretty much as my wife's car because it is the same chassis. But being the base model, this has the smaller wheels, but which is okay. I still like the look of the brakes, and these are still nice 5-spoke looking wheels. It still has the nice shape of a Porsche, which is cool, and the interior is very nice too. Now, the Macan did a sort of mid-cycle refresh in 2019, the year after this car, and that brought about the full light bars on the back. But this always has like this own little light clusters right there. They're very simple looking. You've got the reverse lights down there. Macan in the iconic Porsche type right there, it's a Porsche font. But yeah, it's just a good looking small little SUV. I love how the little hips jut out a little bit right there. It just looks really good. It sort of flows right down there. But yeah, this is a gorgeous looking car. This car was not a victim, like when the Panamera came out, the sedan, the first ever Porsche sedan, that thing was, I'm not gonna say it was ugly, it was just a little bit weird looking, but they definitely ironed out that look for the second generation. I was lucky enough to drive one of those this year too. That was a fantastic car. But look, there's even sort of like little levels to the taillights. That's pretty cool detail right there. You don't really see, you know, from when you're standing right in the back of it. So yeah, as far as the styling goes, I mean, this would compete with cars like the BMW X3, you know, the Mercedes GLC, but I think this is better looking than both of them. Those cars are going through sort of mid-cycle refreshes too. The X3 is a little funky looking. But yeah, the Macan Turbo I think might be like the sweet spot of the Macan range that has the nice, you know, multi-spoke wheels. But this is still a decent looking small SUV. I mean, this is technically the next step up from an Audi Q5, which I currently own. We actually bought the Q5 from this building back when it was the Audi dealership. So as far as the styling goes, it's not bad at all. So I think this is a good looking SUV to go along with all the Porsche heritage. So, all right, let's take a look at the engine. Now here's the engine of the Macan. This is the typical 2-liter 4-cylinder, and this hood is a little bit different. The headlights remain in the bodywork. There's your nice little cutout. It's sort of like Minis do. But yeah, there's not much to see here, although this is the 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder that has been a mainstay in Volkswagen Audi group products for a while. One thing that is cool, this hood cutout really goes far back. I think my Q5 is similar. But yeah, like I said, 252 horsepower, 273 foot-pounds of torque to go with the dual clutch transmission, the PDK, the Porsche Doppelkupplungsgetriebe, or however you say it. So yeah, this is the heart of the beast right here. This is, you know, more than enough as a daily driver for my wife. And I think obviously it would be nice to have more power, but you definitely go up in the price there. So, all right, let's take a look at the trunk. Now, one cool thing about the key, it just sort of looks like a Porsche itself. I think that is a Porsche thing. That's just a nice little feature. So if we double click on the trunk badge right there. Now this looks exactly like my wife's. The trunk is decently big for a small-ish SUV. So yeah, definitely enough space for my family and I. Plus, if I ever get my Bronco, that'll be the bigger car of my family. So this would definitely be sufficient. We've taken beach trips in the Audi, packed it to the gills. Definitely worked okay. I do like that cover over there. That covers, I guess you call it a tonneau cover. It covers everything you have in the trunk. But yeah, that's decent space in the Macan. Very typical of this class, so not bad. All right, let's take a look at the interior where the Porsche heritage continues. All right, going to the inside of the Macan. Now, right away, I do love this tan leather color. When we were looking for the Audi, they had a nougat brown leather color that I was really into. Didn't end up getting it, which is okay, but this is nice as well. So the one thing that I wanted to mention, this is a 2018, and like I said on the outside, 2019 was a mid-cycle refresh, which really sort of upgraded all the tech on the inside. Not saying anything about this one, but for 2019, they made a bigger nav screen. They put the air vents down here. I mean, this is a CD holder, which nobody really uses CDs anymore. But I just love, like I said, this leather color is very nice. And Porsche really does steering wheels, might possibly the best in the industry, as well as Mercedes. Mercedes does really kick-ass looking steering wheels. But there is your 7-speed dual clutch shift paddles right there. Now, I'm going to be honest, the one thing that I would miss of my Audi is the virtual cockpit that this car does not have. This, like every other Porsche, has a centrally located tachometer. You got your speedometer on the left, flanked by a information screen on the right, and I do love that little Macan silhouette right there. That is a pretty cool feature. But I mean, do you sacrifice the driving experience of a Porsche just for the graphics on the screen? I mean, maybe. I would definitely miss that. Now, there's the Sport Chrono package. I think you can get to have the clock up there, but it will also, you know, go over your lap times in the Macan. But yeah, the craftsmanship is very nice in here. I mean, you've got soft touch leather, you've got nice aluminum trim on the doors and on the dash. There's a little bit of gloss black right there. But as also in typical Porsche fashion, lots of buttons on the main screen right here. I think for the mid-cycle refresh 2 in 2019, they got rid of a little bit of buttons. So you've got your heated seats, your sport button, which we're definitely going to try out. Off-road, how about that? Auto stop start. Now this is where all your climate controls are. These are actually soft or buttons that you go up and down. So one other thing about Porsches that I said before, this is where the key is on the left side, harkening back to the 1950s when you would run up to the car and get in, put it in gear with your right hand and turn it on with your left hand. So let's just start it up right here. Watch this. That's kind of different. You definitely, you know, everybody's used to a push button anymore. So this stereo is pretty awesome. It is a Bose. Let's see if we get a little bit of bass drop. Yeah, okay, so we don't want to get a copyright strike, so we're going to turn that off. But yeah, this is, okay, on the right side of the steering wheel, you can go over the stuff on the right-hand screen right there. Torque split, TPMS, tire pressure, trip, no phone, audio, vehicle, yeah, I really think I would miss the virtual cockpit, but as a trade-off, you're driving a Porsche, you get the, you know, heritage that the Porsches bring to the table, which is, you know, legendary. So there's not a lot to complain about in here. You got a nice little Macan badge right there. There's your cup holders, there's your power outlet. You got a smaller little storage container right there. So I think the quality is decent in here. I love the steering wheel with the little cutouts. You know, you can see right through them to see the shift paddles, and they are, you know, machined aluminum. They feel very nice in your hand. I love the steering wheel. This is a decent setup in here. This car does have 81,000 miles, which is a lot for a 2018. My car is like 35,000. This is 80. So I definitely wanted to check out a Macan just to see what they're like. So I'm liking what I see so far. So let's check out the back seat. All right, we're gonna go in the back seat of the Macan, and I must say, I think it's a little bit tight. I don't think it would be tight for my daughter to get back here with her car seat, but I feel like it's a little bit tighter than my Audi. I mean, I'm 6 feet tall, and my knees are touching the seat, which is okay. Still got the same nice materials back here all around. There's a nice shot of the interior right there. That steering wheel still is just so good looking. We do have a big panoramic sunroof, which goes over the front and rear. So decent back here. You do have temperature controls right here and heated seats. That is nice to have. My daughter loves that in Audi. So not much to report back here. It's a little bit tighter, I feel, than my Audi, and I'm not exactly sure why. If you had 2 kids, I think it would be a little tight for all your stuff, but somebody like me that has 1 and not gonna have any more, it would be sufficient. I think the trunk is decent. Yeah, you're definitely buying into the Porsche heritage that this SUV brings, which is never a bad thing. You know, Porsche is a legendary, you know, German automotive and a company, and I've always been a fan of German cars. So I think this is an enticing package. I definitely think it's a little bit of an upgrade over the Audi as far as the luxury appointments. But I'm just so used to the Audi, and I love it, obviously. So, all right, let's wrap this up and get this thing out on the road. All right, this has been just a quick look at a 2018 Porsche Macan. I think this car is a valuable proposition. We're gonna see if my opinion changes after I drive it. I think it's gonna be a very nice driving car. So big thank you to Sun Motors Pre-Owned right here, just off the Carlisle Pike in Mechanicsburg, PA. If you're interested in any pre-owned cars, they've got a couple cool cars. They have 2 AMG GTs in the lot. They have a Corvette Z06 with a manual, lots of decent SUVs. There's a little Volvo over there. So if you're interested in any of these cars, go check out Sun Motors Pre-Owned. I will put their website right here. So I like the Macan. I think it could be a decent, you know, daily driving SUV for my wife. So I think it's a decent little SUV if you value driving, and that is something that I do. I don't like to have just a people mover, we'll say, quote unquote. So if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at GemmyD on Cars. Stay tuned for the drive video. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.